Hi, my name is Kira O'Connor, and this is Reading Arizona. Welcome back to another episode of Reading Arizona. In the age of the internet, you're more likely to pick up your phone than crack open a cookbook or use a travel guide. But the authors of both say there's just something about the pages of a book that you won't get on a screen. Authors Julie Morrison and Lisa Schneebly-Heidinger show you just that in their new book, Arizona Friend Trips. The pair took a cross-state road trip, showing you hidden gems and hopefully your new favorite places, all in their travel guide that defies genres. Take a look.
Likes that. And one day she said, we're both third generation Arizona writers. I do poetry, you do prose and photographs. Let's do a book. And I thought, well, nobody will publish that, but it'd be great fun. So I said, sure, let's do a book.
That's how the journey for Arizona Friend Trips got started. From the pages of their travel book to the podcast to keep the wanderlust going, authors Lisa Schneebly-Heidinger and Julie Morrison are ready to help you hit the road and explore State 48.
But everywhere else, one of us wanted the other to see it, basically. And then sometimes it was, what's that? And we would add that to the book.
And this travel guide is unlike any other. Arizona Friend Trips shows readers through poetry, prose, and photographs the diversity of Arizona.
And I finally went to Europe a couple of years ago, and I recognized why Max Ernst and so many Europeans gravitate to Arizona. Because while I did not go to the Alps or the Mediterranean, if you're in Belgium or France or England, there is an incredible uniformity. Lots of green, little village, shops on the bottom, other things on top, small street. And you get here, and as you know, red rocks, Sunset Crater country, permafrost at the top of the peaks. I mean, we have everything but ocean. But we have a West Coast, we have the Colorado River. So yeah, our diversity is just stratospheric. And there are so many things to see. And yeah, it's such a great place.
And whether you're using their travel guide or listening to their podcast on your car radio, Schneebly-Heidinger says she has one hope for the work that her and Morrison have done.
And what I would love to see happen with this is it go under a car seat and end up coffee spotted and bent and rumpled because somebody actually looked at it as they were traveling. That would be perfect. I love that.
Oh, man.
Remember the Velveteen Rabbit finally becoming real when it was beat to heck? Yeah.
This is your Velveteen Rabbit.
Well loved is well used.
When you think of traveling, people think of faraway places. Planes, trains, cars, maps, maybe even learning a new language. But One Valley author wants to make sure that you know that you don't often have to go too far outside of your own backyard to find adventure. Travis Swan Taylor wrote the book 111 Places in Phoenix That You Must Not Miss. And he took me on a walking tour of downtown Phoenix, showing me some hidden gems, but also some places I had no idea had such significance in our state's history. And I'm taking you along for the ride. Take a look.
But just really cool. Again, one of those things that you're just not going to find unless you're out.
Yeah, honestly.
Walking around. I'm just, right?
And that's exactly what Valley author Travis Swan Taylor's latest travel guide, 111 Places in Phoenix That You Must Not Miss, encourages readers to do.
What I love about this book is that it encourages people to get out and explore their own backyard. There's so much to see and do right here. Don't wait until you travel to Paris or Budapest or Cairo. It's like, go out and explore your own backyard. Just play tourist for a weekend. There's like a bazillion places in here to go see.
And while many travel guides are written for tourists, Taylor's is written with residents in mind.
So the book is first written for locals. So it's places that even locals might not know about. Or there's sometimes places that they do know about, but through the lens of something or a story that they might not know about.
Discovering a city as a local is what first brought Taylor to the 111 Places series. Now, 2 books later, Taylor says there's just something special about traveling with a book in hand.
Online will help you explore and discover, but when you have a book, it's part of you. You're holding on to it. It's part of you, and part of the experience that you have when you're at these places. I don't have a tagline, but if I did, and I've shared it with some people, I would say explore with curiosity, experience with heart. And that's a lot easier to do with a book in hand.
We are taking a road trip reading Arizona. Hidden in Prescott is a restaurant that's made of every book lover's dreams. It's called the Bear and Dragon Cafe, and it has book inspired dishes, decor, and it's even run by an author. I spoke to owner Amanda Adam about what it took to get this cafe off the ground and what has readers and residents alike coming back for more.
Because it's my passion, it really is. I love books so much, and I just love keeping the love of reading alive because a lot of people are forgetting it these days. And it creates more of an experience that way. It also creates a nostalgia. It creates a sense of comfort. Creates a sense of wonder. So when people walk in, they see all these books everywhere. They just take a deep breath. It's so much fun.
The Bear and Dragon Cafe looks like it came right out of a fairy tale. From the books lining the shelves to the novel food choices. This Prescott eatery will make readers happy they put their book down.
It's like I'm walking into a warm hug. I love that. It makes all the hard work seem worth it. So,
Residents love the Bear and Dragon too. From the literary fair to the ambiance, they say it's a spot worth visiting.
Oh, I love it.
It's awesome. I was telling a friend of mine from Idaho about the book.
It's so different.
It's so cozy and Euro and British and
And they have a
Celtic, and that it brings back that nostalgia aspect.
yes. And then they have a book drop out front. You exchange books, just take one and drop one, and that's amazing. So
And it doesn't get much more bookish than a restaurant run by an author. Adam says one of her goals with Bear and Dragon is to bring people back to books, from adults all the way to the earliest of readers.
one of the things I do with kids is instead of handing them coloring pages, I hand them books. So children's books. And I am so delighted when I see parents reading them books at the table or a child looking at the book at the table instead of looking at a tablet or, coloring's great. But it's just so cool because then you're showing them all these different books as children too, and parents are encouraged in reading it to them. They'll have to put the iPad down and they'll just read them instead. And I love that. Not to say anything bad about iPads. They have it. I use them with my kids, trust me. But that's really fun. And then, lots of readers coming in, but also their check presenters, when they get their check, it comes in a book. So that they have a way of discovering a new book all the time, looking at the book, taking pictures. And it totally makes it creates an appetite to read, right? When you have a book in your hand. So we kind of try to encourage that way.
To learn more about upcoming events at the Bear and Dragon, head to their social media pages. For cooks who read and readers who cook. That's the slogan for Valley-based business Book Lady Cooks. Run by Linda Armbruster, Book Lady Cooks features antique and vintage cookware and cookbooks, combining her passions in and out of the kitchen into one business. Book Lady Cooks shows us the proof is in the pudding. Cookbooks have been and will continue to be a staple in the kitchen, no matter what era.
Loved it. I've been a teacher, a librarian, a bookseller. So when I retired, it's just something I felt passionate about, sharing cookbooks and even kitchenware that have stories connected to them, stories behind them that can connect one person to another culture, to another time, to another place. It's a passion project for me.
While a cookbook may seem outdated in the modern kitchen, Valley business owner Linda Armbruster shows customers that may just be a good thing.
I think what I would like to bring to the people really is a sense of connectedness to the big picture of the human experience through food, because it is such a universal experience. And there are so many great stories, and they're not huge stories. Sometimes they are, but they're just little snippets of daily life that people have all over the world through history. Just little pieces of life that we all can connect to, we can all identify with.
Her shop, Book Lady Cooks, features antique cookware and vintage cookbooks. She says cookbooks do more than just give you instructions and ingredients. They tell stories.
Every culture, every person, we all have rituals and stories and connections to how we eat, and how we share food, and how we prepare food, how we think about food. It's not all the same, but that need is there. I think that's a universal need, even if it looks different.
She started with an online shop and pop-up booths across the valley. And now she has her own space at Tattered Nest Vintage in Cave Creek.
And I just want these available for the people who they do connect with, who are looking for something more than just what's for dinner.
To learn more about Book Lady Cooks, head to her website. And we can't have an episode talking about cookbooks without talking about dessert. Whether you like pie, cookies, cake, brownies, or a little bit of everything, no meal is complete without a sweet treat. Food Network star and best-selling author Molly Yeh couldn't agree more. Sugar is her favorite food group, and in her newest book, Sweet Farm, she shares her tried and true recipes alongside her family's heritage and her life on a sugar beet farm. Enjoy!
I have hundreds of cookbooks and I am surrounded by them on my open shelves all day long. And what I love about cookbooks is that you can really immerse yourself in a world.
Molly Yeh knows food. As a Food Network star and best-selling author, she loves creating new recipes and trying new dishes.
And so of course it's really delicious and it's really fun to make and it's so creatively satisfying. But at the end of the day, it's about the stories and about connecting to people, to places, to my ancestors.
But Yeh didn't start out on the path to becoming a household name in cooking. She went to school in New York City for music.
I was just fascinated by the food scene in New York, and it started to become apparent that I was more looking forward to the restaurants and what I would eat after concerts and after my long day of practicing than I was for actually practicing.
Flash forward to now. She's living on a sugar beet farm and sharing her latest book with the world entitled Sweet Farm, an ode to not only her favorite food group, but her life on the farm and her family's history.
Sort of what happens before the sweets are made. I, of course, love sweets. Sugar is my favorite food group, but I also married a sugar farmer, and he's a 5th generation farmer. His family came over from Norway almost 150 years ago, and so this book is for them. It is an ode to farming families everywhere.
During her book signing in Arizona, Yeh met with fans, including one very excited elementary schooler from Yuma.
I'm here changing hands to meet Molly.
What are you going to tell Molly when you get up there? What are you going to say?
That I missed 3 tests and to get my braces off just to see her.
Now that's what you call a sweet treat. And that's this week's episode of Reading Arizona. Thanks to all of the booksellers, authors, and readers that made this week's storytelling possible. Stay tuned for next week and keep reading Arizona. Kira O'Connor, 12 News.